Well, girls and guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. This one's going to be funny. Well, I don't know. Sometimes in this trade, we see things that confuse us somewhat. Now, I have a Ford Fiesta in, okay. Nothing wrong with Ford Fiestas, not really my cup of tea type thing, but you know, they're good cars, can't fault them. However, my problem with them is, well, no, not my problem with them. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. We'll just start with what's going on with this one. So this one's come to me as a non-runner. It was working absolutely fine until the customer discovered modifications and how to modify cars the wrong way. Some pointless background is this car was standard. The guy passed his test. He's excited, so he started modifying it. Don't blame him. We've all been there. We've all done this. This was something we do as petrol heads. Like your first car, you modify it. Here's what it is. There's some things you don't do. So, I mean, this air filter, although it adds 50 horsepower, legit, that's okay. I mean, it's not great. You actually lose power with something like that, I think, but it is what it is. But what's the problem is, I got called in for this. Initially, this is what I got called in for. This bodge wire. I've already repaired one wire because that wasn't connected. But I've checked some of them and some of the connections are okay. They're not the correct way to do it. But it led me to the question of, what was in that? Then I started looking around the car. And what I found, not very well hidden, is... Yep. With a little button. So I'm guessing, not exactly sure, but I think this is something to cause a pop and bang. Because you ain't got a Fiesta if you ain't got pop and bang. Except you, Anthony, you're the exception. You're probably thinking, is that it? That's the only thing that you're doing, just sorting a load of wiring out. No. So when I went to this vehicle, because I got called out to go to it, because they wanted to know if they could find out why it wasn't running, I got hit with the biggest stench of fuel. It was like someone had poured fuel on me. At that point, I got a little bit panicky. And then started to have a little look. Now, this apparently, according to the dad of the kid that owns the car, said he had a god-awful, stupid exhaust and he made him take it off because it was that bad. Now, I could not imagine how bad that was for your dad to make you take your exhaust off the car. It also had an issue with going through MOT as well. So apparently it was horrendous. Like, you could hear it from miles away. And we all know what a slow car with a loud exhaust sounds like. The never-ending gear scenario, we'll just call it that. But here lies the good bit. The customer fitted the exhaust himself. And we've got a bad smell of fuel. Didn't know that. This is gonna get good. Well, what do we have dripping underneath the car? Is that two Phillips screws drilled into the fuel tank? Kind of looks like it, don't it? So, yes, the customer was told to change his exhaust, which he's done. But with the exhaust that he had on before, he used the fuel tank as a mounting point for the bracket. I mean, that exhaust bracket's fine, but I mean, the thing that, let's be honest, people, the thing that impresses me the most is when you've done it once, why do it twice? All right, as we don't know how much fuel is in this tank, we are gonna start draining it. It's gonna take a while, but I've got some jerry cans ready to go. And the reason why I don't know how much is in there, because the battery's disconnected, the battery's also flat, and I refuse to connect it. So let's get it draining. Okay, so let's start draining, removing the drain on that. Again, this, like, I've seen some really stupid modifications, but this one so far is my favorite. So while this is draining, I've already started eyeing up how to remove the tank. So we've got one bolt here. Don't know what that was. These two pipes we've got to undo. I think I'm gonna try and take this whole canister down with the tanks. The other one's got it on. And then it's just 2 tank straps, and pop this clip out of the way. And then I know there's a plug for the pump on top, and that's about it. So this will be a video on how to replace a fuel tank after making a stupid, I still don't know what to say about it, a stupid decision to hang an exhaust off your fuel tank, because that's a clever thing to do. So we disconnected the 2 pipes up there and the main plug. We've drained the tank. What I did is made a bigger hole. So we were draining it out of there, but what I'm doing is make sure this is nice and tight. Let's just get that right in there, yes. There we go. We'll put it back to where it belongs. I know I've said it before, but you know, not 1, but 2. I mean, it's pretty special, isn't it? Right, so after doing some tests, turns out the fuel pump is actually okay on this tank. Due to the absolute mess of wiring at the front, which I'll get to in a minute, they've clearly touched a load of wires and shorted out and blown some fuses. So, save the customer some money, no fuel tank required, fuel pump. Now, in the process of swapping over this, obviously this breather pipe was cut off on this tank. They'd actually cut it here, which is there. So I managed to save this one off this tank by cutting this bit off there, heating it up with some hot water, no heat. Do not use fire in this situation, fire's bad. And then manipulate it out, and then warmed it up again with some hot water and just slid it on, and look at that, we have a nice fit. Now, I'm gonna swap the sender unit over. Luckily I've got a friend who's gonna support the tank while I get a screwdriver and a hammer and beat this like it owes me money. All right, fuel filler has been removed from that tank. Now what we've done is I've got a blunt-ish big flathead screwdriver, lined it up against there, basically, and giving it some Hadoukens with tool of the month. Now just gonna slowly unscrew this, and hopefully in a second we will have, we're gonna need that, put that over there. And then you just, now this is tight, there is a seal. There's a rubber seal of that rubber seal, so we've got a spare, thank God. There you go, now that's coming up. And there we have a fuel pump in pieces, which isn't good. Something I should have mentioned before getting to this stage of actually fitting it, the rubber seal. This is so nice having 2. This rubber seal, take that off the unit, just slide down there, fit that to, in fact, here we go, I'll give you a little demo. Take that out, fit it into said tank, preferably one that doesn't have a hole in it like this one. Get it in nice and seated, make sure it is seated correctly, then put the pump in. Now, with this, I was lucky because this does have a position it needs to go. I look back at the film, at my previous video, and this arrow points to dead center between the min and the max. Don't know why, but it does. So now I need to put the top ring on, make sure it's all flat and level. And I always spray a little bit of like lube just around here, just to help it slide on there and tighten down very nice. Because we do not need problems. I've had enough and I don't need any more. So let's fit the ring. And just like that, she's on. We lined it up and gave it some good knocks round. Now basically, I just keep hitting it until it stops moving. Sounds stupid, it works, it's on. That's in and tight, and the arrow's still between the min and the max. So everything's all good. Now, gotta get this on there. Okay, got tank straps fitted, nice. Now, I'm gonna make this disappear and go into the bottom of the car. Like I say, overall, job isn't too bad, as long as you don't have to wait for a fuel tank because someone's stupid and drills into it. The job itself isn't bad. It's the same procedure to replace the fuel sender unit, because unlike every other manufacturer, Ford don't put a hatch in the bottom of the car under the seat. I don't know why. They'll put a hole for the wire to come through, but not a big enough hole to take the fuel pump out. Like most cars that I ever work on, if I need to replace the pump, I can quite easily just lift the seats, undo some screws or bolts, and replace a fuel pump. Not Ford, no. They do it really good. All right, we are in there like swimwear. All the brackets and bolts are on, they're double check them. Just need to put things like this back in place. But all the pipes are in, no, that goes that way, whoops. All the pipes are in place, everything's on. I am fighting with this clamp, aren't I? So we have a top tip that I have just found out. Do not try and put fuel in just with a big funnel. See, whoops. I have this nice big funnel, tried to put fuel in, didn't work. You need this little magical doodah to go in like that. Then you can pour fuel in. Otherwise, you waste a hell of a lot of fuel. So I didn't realise that was leaking like that. Right, I forgot to do this bit, but it's all back together. We've been on road test. Starts. Sounds brilliant. Now, you'll notice there's some lights on the dash. That is because what we've found is the fuse for the ABS. I'm guessing he's removed it to do some wheel skids, because that's what you do. I might be wrong, but for now I'm going to say I'm right. So, thank you very much for watching this video. This one has been fun. Just goes to show that some people can do really stupid things to their cars. Anyway, if you've liked it, like and subscribe. Stick around. We've still got projects and stuff to do, and we've got other cars to fix. And you get to see how stupid some people can be. So from me, thank you very much.